Hi, welcome to Design Creative, a series of recreating logos from toy companies. First, let's take a look at the creative process. There are 6 stages. Number 1, discover. 2, research. 3, brainstorm. 4, sketch. 5, design. And lastly, 6, present and deliver. With these 6 stages, this will be our guideline in recreating a logo for HASBRO company. Now let's get right into it. So for the discovery phase, I start off by filling out a brand strategy template in order to develop a foundation as a way to gain as much information about my client's business. Now, taking a look at this framework, we get a sense of what the business is and what kind of vision we will follow towards and who our target audience are. Moving towards the research phase, we take the information from the brand strategy and conduct more insights to get a sense of the direction we will go towards in recreating the logo. As you can see, I'm looking for inspirations from websites like Behance in order to create a mood board that will serve as a tone and vision for this logo redesign. Now I start off with a wordmark logo and choosing a font that is similar to the typeface that I am going for. Now that I have chosen the fonts, I have created the mood board, which would serve as a visual persona of the logo. This helps with getting started onto the next phase of the creative process, which is sketching. Next phase, I first have to figure out the style of the logo, and so I will be doing either a letter mark or a word mark, and this will be my guideline in creating the sketches. Now the goal is to create at least 25 different sketches for each logo mark. This is usually one of the hardest part of the creative process for me because sometimes creativity just doesn't happen so easily and it can be difficult to think outside of the box. Now that the sketches are done, it is finally time for me to pick from each of the logo mark and taking those sketches and digitalizing it on Illustrator. Here you can see which ones I have decided on. Then I went ahead and created an outline so that I can edit and adjust the typography as seen on the screen. What I'm doing here is adjusting the letter S and A, changing the shape to mimic a smile face. And of course, adjusting the rest of the letters and its stroke to match with the rest. Moving on with the lettermark logo, I did the same method as the word mark and edited the typography. However, as I was making it, it didn't look right to me and seemed very unbalanced in terms of not fitting with the vision I wanted, so I ended up scrapping it and just sticking with the word mark instead. I continued to make adjustments after receiving feedbacks from other people. This was the first version I did, and from the feedback that I got, just from a glance, the S looked more like a G. So I had to figure out a way to keep the shape, but make it look less like a G. And the letter H didn't seem cohesive with the rest of the letters, more so the stroke is thinner. And so I went ahead and made these adjustments and cleaned up the typography a bit more. Now let's take a look at the original logo and the final redesign of HASBRO company. So a little bit of a reflection going through this whole process, especially being the first one in the series. There were definitely challenges that I faced, especially during the 4th and 5th stage, which was the sketching and designing. It did take me quite a while to really finish up the logo. I know there was probably a much easier way for me to go about designing this in Illustrator, but it's definitely a learning process. As for the stages of the creative process, it is fairly similar to what I've done before. The only thing different would be the discovery phase, where I had to use a template to kind of get a bit more understanding and more in-depth of my client and their business. To end this on a good note, I think the logo turned out pretty good, and I'll see you next time.